Good morning, and extremely sorry for the delay because I had another test from 7 to 9 for 2022 A levels, right? So it's a little bit late. It doesn't matter. Let's start with question number 25. අපි කරන්නේ නේද 25 එක. කරාද අපි 25? නෑනේ. හරි. We have completed the questions from we have answered on up to 2000, sorry, to question number 24. So let's move to question number 25. Let me take you to the answer screen. Some have done it and they have sent me the answers for corrections. Once again, it's very simple. When you have been given with a format, I told you in O-level examination or in your term tests, this table will not be provided. Not be provided. So you have to draw it nicely. First, count the number of columns. There are 4 assets, 1 equity, and 1 liability. Altogether, we have to draw, right? 8 rows. 8 rows, right? 1 is for number, and there are 4 assets, 1 equity, and 2 liabilities. 4 assets, 1 equity, 2 liabilities. So you can allocate the paper. The paper allocate. There are 4 assets, 1 equity, and 2 liabilities. Right? Number, assets. Okay. Then we have equity. Finally, liabilities. You have to practice, right? How to draw this table. Then what are the transactions? What are the items we have? Property, plant, and equipment. That means non-current assets, right? And the next is inventory. What we got a PP&E? Office equipment. Do we purchase anything in cash? No. You said no. Leave it as property, plant, and equipment. I'll let you know the reason why. Then we have inventory. Debtors, cash. Then under the equity, we can record capital, liabilities, bank loan, and creditors. Creditors. This is the table. How many transactions are there? 10 transactions. But we have opening balances, and we have to get the closing balances. So maintain 12 rows. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. So I'm going to draw the table like this. Just draw the right columns, right? And then at the top we record the balance asset first of what is the date? 1st of May. 1st of May. Right? 1st of May. And we finally obtain the balance asset 31st of May. 31st of May. And later we can calculate the non-current assets, current assets, and everything. Puta, man choote දෙයක් කියලා දීලා පටන් ගන්න. හරිද? සාමාන්‍ය හැබැයි මේක O levels වල එච්චර ඕනේ නෑ. PP&E. We don't get this for O levels, but remember that. Property, plant, and equipment includes all the non-current assets. That means PP&E includes, PP&E includes the land, building, right? Motor vehicles, office equipment, furniture. PP&E. But this is a little bit too much for you, but try to remember. PP&E is a collective noun for these items. But I don't think that you will get that for levels, but try to remember it. Now let's record the balances. I told you office furniture comes under the PP&E. So it's an opening balance, 450,000. Okay. I think everyone is listening carefully. Opening inventory is 80,000. Inventory is 80,000. Trade debtors 70. Cash in hand 100. Accordingly, total assets is pute 700,000. Let's see whether we get the same answer the other side. Capital 450. Bank loan 160. Creditors 90. Balamada. Yes. Opening equity and the liabilities also 700,000. But if you like, write it on a side. But let me tell you, this might be a little bit too much for all of us. But try to remember. Right. Now let's record the transactions. 1 to 10. Transaction numbers 1 to 10. Okay. Transaction 1. What is it? Purchased goods value 30,000 on credit. What happens to them? Then equation must be tallied. Now, what is the first transaction? What happens? Inventory plus 30,000. Use the plus sign. Compulsory. But I told you in my answer that sign is ignored once the information is entered. But when you write it manually, plus sign is a must. And also it increases creditors. 30,000. Check your answers, please. Number 2, look at this one. The owner withdrew goods valued 15,000 for his personal use. Can anyone tell me how to record it? Adisha, Dinet, Sanuka, Binan, Vibu, Pute, Hoddara Kalpana Karatu again. How we should record that transaction? Anybody in the class? What we have done? The owner has withdrawn. The owner has withdrawn goods valued 15,000 for personal use. Exactly. If the owner has withdrawn cash, what do we do? Don't write it. This is not the answer. It is reduced from cash and reduced from capital. But this time, what he has withdrawn? Goods. Let's say he has withdrawn 1 kilo of sugar. 1 kilo of sugar. That decreases not cash, but inventory by 15,000. Remember that. Inventory minus 15 and capital minus 15. Understood? Number 3. Sold goods value 25,000 for 48,000 on credit. Goods value 25,000 minus 25,000. This is the cost of goods sold. It is sold on credit. That doesn't increase cash, but increases debtors by 48,000. Can someone tell me the profit here? Profit here. Addition. How much is the Vibu? How much is the profit? Exactly 23,000. The difference between the sales and the cost of sales. Profit that belongs to the owner, add that to the capital, plus 23. Plus 23. See how simple it is. Right. Number 4. The owner introduced office equipment, office furniture value 50,000 as additional. That increases not cash. The owner has directly provided office furniture. So PPN, that includes office furniture, that is increased by 50,000. And what should be available? Capital plus 50,000. Back to the petty. Oh no, my always check. Check whether the equation is tallied after every single posting. Number 5. Paid 10,000 as electricity expense of the business. Paid in cash now. First reduce it to cash. Because it's a cash outflow. And this outflow is an expense. Where we record the expenses? In the capital. Got it? Right. Number 6. Collected 40,000 from debtors. Debtors minus 40. One asset decreases. And cash plus 40. 40. Okay. Number 7. Look at this one. An inventory value. 20,000 damaged by fire. Who can tell me how to record this? Inventory value 20,000 damaged by fire. What happens when you lost something by fire? It generates a loss. And losses are deducted from the capital. But once again, I want you to go through this recorded session very carefully. Now, these are the hardest questions that a grade 10 student can get. But I don't think that it will be available even for the term test. Exactly, addition. Inventory minus 20,000. And capital, it's a loss now. The losses should be borne by the owner. Who else? So reduce it from the capital also. Inventory, right? Asset decreases and equity decreases. Why? It is a loss for the business. Okay, Buddha. Niyamai. Number 8. Paid 43,000 to creditors. Now, how do we pay it? With cash. Cash minus 43. Agreed. Then, when you settle a creditor, do you understand? Even the creditors decreased. Minus 43. Understood? Good. Number 9. Sold goods value 20,000 for 40,000 on cash. We are selling goods for 20,000 now. Inventory minus 20,000. And it is paid on cash. Cash plus 40,000. We receive the cash. And how much is the profit? 20,000. Add that to the capital. Last transaction. Pay 15,000 as the salaries. Payment in cash. So receipt from cash. And capital is deducted by 15,000 because it's an expense. Right. Now we can obtain the closing balances. Check your answers, please. Amaru kotasakata tibbe ara PP and E කියන එක තමයි. අනිත් ඒවා all the transactions are manageable. Let's get the right closing balances of the following. Non-current assets. Current assets. Then we have equity, non-current liabilities, and the current liabilities. Non-current assets 500. This is the non-current assets. Right? Current assets. It is 220. 220. Equity 483. And bank loan, it is 160. And current liability 77. It is the balance of creditors. How simple the question is. Hondata practice karanna patiyo. I can help you to obtain an A pass for the subject. Trust me. But you have to do your homework. You have to do your personal revising. Api honda sessions tika kara our first 3 lessons. That will be the things available for your first term text. Study them. So don't be afraid of that covering the syllabus. Everything will be done. Don't be afraid. I'm going to cover all the things in the correct, right, at the correct time. Okay, good. Now let's move to, we are moving to the next one. That is the end of question. Sorry, session. It is session 4. Session 4. Let me open. In fact, this is going to be the last session of the of this competency. Session 5. Antima session. Right. Here, they have given you a transaction. The transactions have been given. You have to describe the given transactions. You have to describe the given transactions. There are 4 questions, right? Let me open, the worksheet also. Give me a minute. Right. Let me share the screen. On screen share. Right. We have to describe the given transactions. Now that is a requirement. Question number 26. Okay. Question number 26. We have to describe the transactions. Right. I'm going to give you some key points which has to be followed when you describe a transaction. Anivarre make a karandu. Harida? Right. Give me a minute. Right, here we go. Right. Transaction number 1. What has happened to the inventory plus 30, creditors plus 30. Additional information tells us that there were no drawings. So you can't recognize any of the transaction as drawings. First one is given as an example. What is the first transaction? Inventory plus 30, creditors plus 30. What is the transaction? The transaction is this. Okay. Transaction is described like this. That is purchased. Okay. Purchased goods value rupees 30,000. Don't fail to mention on credit. Otherwise, your answer is incorrect. Why? Because sometimes there may be a cash purchase also. You have to say it's a credit purchase. Okay. Number 2. Transaction number 2. Right? Number 2. What has happened? Inventory minus 10. Debtors plus 40. Capital plus 30. Yes, what is the description? The business has sold an inventory now on credit because it has increased debtors. Don't say cash. Cost of the inventory is 10,000. Right? Value of the debtors is 40,000. This is how you write the description. Make a practice karanna mon. You have to say sold goods valued rupees 10,000. Okay, for rupees 40,000 again on credit. This part is very important. If you don't write it, your answer is incorrect. Write it out, it was sold on credit. Huh? Transaction number 3. What has happened? Cash minus 10, capital minus 10. Today, according to the instructions given in this question, it can't be a drawing. Why? Additional information clearly told us that there are no drawings. Drawings nahi kiyala kiwa neda puta. Ehna mokadda manga karanne. I have recognized it as an expense. You can name any expense. You can say paid salaries, rupees 10,000. Paid salaries, rupees 10,000. Okay. Or paid water bill 10,000. Paid electricity 10,000. Describe it nicely. Number 4. Debtors minus 20. Cash plus 16. Capital minus 4. Make a layer highlight because it's the first time that we got the adjustment. But normally we get this after grade 11. Put them a change करना पड़ेगा हदागन नेता को वैल्यू वेगा तो देखने में हदागन में मैं 4,009 करा remove that 4,000 and here just write plus 20,000. That is enough. That is enough. Now what we have done, remove 4,000 from the capital like a tipex color card. Those are watching the record session also. Cash plus 20. That's enough. Okay, this is how you describe it. This is how you describe it. Received rupees 20,000 from debtors. Correct? The business has collected rupees 20,000 from debtors. Without once again, if you have any doubts, please let me know. Without once again, whenever you describe a transaction, you have to use the rupee value. You can't say received cash from debtors. You have to mention the value. Received 20,000 from debtors. That has to be mentioned. Okay. Number 5. Transaction number 5. Office equipment minus 60 and capital minus 60. What has happened here? It can be a destroyed, right? What is it? Office equipment. Sorry. Office equipment destroyed. The office equipment value rupees 6,000 destroyed, right, by fire or by anything or destroyed. Office equipment value rupees 600,000 destroyed by fire. In this question, right, in this particular lesson, you can obtain different types of transaction, different type of questions. Right. So question number 27. Right. We have to describe the given transactions. There are 10 transactions. Once again, right, observe what we should do. Vinadi pahak. Try to describe the first 5 transactions. Describe. You have just 5 minutes. Here, write it. And remember, none of the transactions should be drawings because there were no drawings. So don't write any transaction as don't recognize any transaction as a drawing. Describe the first 5 transactions. You have 5 minutes. Hurry, start it now. Remember, you have to use the rupee value. Okay, start it now. Pute, once again, now what you remember, Puta, you have to, yes, Sanuka, Malama Bihardi Kila, the first one, of course, yes, Hari Pute. So don't mention that he's on cash. I try to say, obtain a bank loan 100,000. That's enough. Okay, Sanuka, Hari Bomatai. Mention a rupee value. Okay, continue with your answers. Please. Okay, children. Now we can check your answers for the first 5 transactions. First one, what has happened? Cash increased by 100. Bank loan increased by 100. Now what has happened? The business has obtained a bank loan worth 100,000. Simply say that. Don't write paragraphs here. Then, but the important point should be available. Second one, what I said? Inventory minus 40. Debtors plus 90. Once you see the debtors, you have to understand it's a credit sale. Sanuko, you have to mention it some. You have to mention whether the sale is done on cash or on credit. It's a credit sale, no? Then use the value. Sold goods valued 40,000 for 90,000 on credit. So don't fail to mention it. This part, today we complete the 5th competency. It's a very important one. So I think you are collecting the tutorials accordingly. So keep them safe, right? File them nicely. You can purchase a cardboard file, right? I don't know the price of it now. Those days it was just 10 rupees. Take a cardboard file for each lesson, each competency. Keep the tutorials inside of it and write the title of the lesson right in front of that particular file, and you can study it. So today it is going to be the 5th file that we are going to complete if you are making it like that way. Then the 6th one, the 3rd one, inventory plus 50, creditors plus 50. Once you see a creditor, yeah, of course you can. Adisha, you can name it as any expense you like. I'm in the 3rd one here. Inventory plus 50, creditors plus 50. What has happened? It's a credit purchase. So we have to mention it. You have to say, purchased goods valued 50,000 on credit. Ada samar lamai metera naha ne pantiye neda. Oshani iskole කියලා කිව්වා. තව ළමයි කීප දෙනෙක්ම මෙතන නැහැ. But anyway, you have to watch the record session once it is transferred to the right YouTube. Go through it. Puta, the 4th one, it has to be an expense. You can name the expense as you like. Salaries, electricity bill, water bill, rent of the office. But the only thing is, it can't be a drawing. Why? Additional information tells us that there are no drawings. Okay. Last one, debtors minus 45, cash minus 45. What is it? Received 45,000 from debtors. Then number 6. Pute, what has happened? Furniture plus 100. Capital plus 100. What is the transaction? Can someone explain it nicely? Hurry up. Sanuka. Dinit. Vibu. Vibu is so silent today. Why? Binan Pereira. Adisha. No. How it can be goods, Puta? It's furniture. Adisha Varadi. It is not a purchase at right. Sanuko Agakat Varadi. We haven't purchased furniture. Why? We haven't used the cash of the business. It is not a purchase or bought furniture. It has increased the capital. So there is owner involved in this transaction. owner is involved with this transaction. අනේ මම ආයි පාරක් කියනවා හොඳට බලා ගන්න මේ කොටස. Right? So පුතා, this is how you write it. The owner introduced what? Furniture value rupees 100,000. The owner introduced furniture value 100,000. There is no involvement of cash. Sanuka, therefore you can't say bought furniture. Business hasn't bought furniture. Why? We have not used the cash. Understood? Owner is the person who has introduced this amount to the business. Mention it nicely. Yeah, you can use, very good at this. You can say the owner invested furniture 100,000. Very good, very good. You can use it. The owner invested furniture value to rupees 100,000. Perfect. Number 7. What has happened? Inventory minus 15, right? Capital minus 15. Remember, it can't be a drawing. Can you remember we had a similar transaction in the last question? What was it? Maybe damaged inventory value rupees 15,000. Mention it. Okay, it can't be a drawing. Why? There are no drawings in the business. Number 8, inventory minus 30, cash plus 50, capital plus 20. You can understand it is a sale. In fact, it is a cash sale. Sold goods valued rupees. How much? 30,000 for rupees 50,000. Mention that it is on cash. Important. So when I say it is important, it is important. Okay, so write it nicely. Number 9, cash minus 30, inventory minus 30. Paid creditors rupees 30,000. Paid creditors rupees 30,000. පුතේ ඊළඟ එක නම් චුට්ටක් වැඩි. මොකද වෙලා තියෙන්නේ? Bank loan minus 40, capital plus 4. මොකද වෙලා තියෙන්නේ? මේක නම් අවශ්‍යත් නැහැ. නිකන් මතක තියාගන්න. Once again, the owner has involved. Why? It has increased the capital. You have to say the owner settled the bank loan valued rupees 40,000. Not the business. You can't say settle the bank loan. Right? You can't say settle the bank loan with 40,000. You have to say who settled it. It was the owner. Because that has influenced the capital. See, this is how you describe a transaction. See, all these descriptions has something in common. Rupee value is there, so use it. හරිද පුතේ මේ අවුරුද්දේ හුඟක් වෙලේට ඉස්කෝලේ පේපර් එක හදන්නේ මම, right? So I'll be sending that paper to you, to this group, after giving it to the given to my school. So try your best to answer it nicely. හරියට කරගන්න බලන්න පැටි. Right. And now let's get back to the calculations. පුතේ ඔයගොල්ලන්ට පුළුවන් නේද මේ ටික හොයාගන්න? non current assets, current assets. මෙච්චරයි කරන්න තියෙන්නේ පැටියෝ. Get the additions here. These two are the non-current assets. මම නිකන් මම highlight කරලා දෙන්නම් මේ විදිහට. These are the non-current assets. And these are the current assets. මේ තියෙන current assets ටික. Get the total. දැන් පුළුවන් වෙන්න ඕන. Sorry. These also a current asset. cash. Non-current liability, this is a non-current liability. Current liability and equity. Calculate the closing balances and record them here. Right. Let's move to the next one. Descriptions. Question number 29 homework. You to answer it personally and send it to me for corrections. Question number 28. How to describe them? Give me a minute. Let me share the screen. Right. Transaction number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, Adisha? Kalpana to observe current transaction. Transaction 1. What has happened? Inventory plus 30. Creditors plus 30. Now, can you tell me how to describe transaction number 1? Tagalaken, Sanuka, Bibu, Dinet, Binan, Harimalesi, keep it. What increases inventory by 30,000 and creditors by 30,000? What is the transaction here? Inventory plus 30, creditors plus 30. The description is this. Purchased goods value purchase goods value rupees 30,000. Don't forget the keyword credit. Purchased goods valued rupees 30,000 on credit. Mention it. Number 2, debtors minus 35, cash plus 35. What is it? Meeting received rupees 35,000 from debtors. Okay, this I will record the second transaction. Third one, number 3, furniture plus 20, capital plus 20. It is not a purchase. Why? The owner is involved. You have to say the owner. Adisha, now I'm using your word. Owner invested furniture value rupees 20,000. The owner invested furniture value rupees 20,000. See, so you should know how to describe a transaction and how to report transactions when the descriptions is given. Number 4, office equipment plus 50, cash minus 50. Who can tell me the description of that? Number 4, office equipment cash adu. How is it possible? Sanuka. Adisha, adu denna uttara denne mata anith denna katti uttara denne naha ne. Dinet. Your mother called me yesterday. Dinet. So how to record how to describe the 4th transaction? It's a purchase of office equipment. It is not investment by the owner. Why? There is no involvement of the owner. You have to say purchased office equipment valued rupees 50,000 on cash. නියමයි. මම නිකන් කියන්නේ පුතා. ඔයා නිකන් මේක කරාට පස්සේ බලනකොට මේක බැයිද කියලා. How many difficult things have you done in other subjects? What are these? මේ මොනවද මේ? And I'm telling you, I can help you to obtain an A pass for this subject, but I need your commitment. Do the home, right? Revising at home. You should know everything that has been taught in the class. Simple. Number 5, inventory minus 25, cash plus 25, capital plus 25. It's a sale. Sold goods valued rupees 25,000 for rupees 50,000 on cash. See, this is a complete description. Okay. Number 6, and it also says there are no drawings. No drawings are there. Cash minus 12, capital minus 12. A payment, and that payment has to be an expense. Let's use another expense now. Paid rupees 12,000 as the electricity bill of the business. You can say water bill, salaries, office rent, name and expense. I've made a video. Number 7, inventory minus 8, capital minus 8. Something familiar to us. Inventory valued rupees 8,000 has damaged. Understood? Number 8, inventory minus 20, debtors plus 40, capital plus 20. It's a sale. But once you see the debtors, you have to say it is a credit sale. So how to describe it? Sold goods valued rupees 20,000 for rupees 40,000 on credit. You have to mention the base of the transaction. It's a credit sale. Who can tell me the description of the 9th transaction? The impact is this: cash minus 20, bank loan minus 20. What is the description? Puta, don't use that word tax. Don't use tax, is not an expense. Adisha, don't use that word, because tax is not an expense in sole proprietorships. Don't ever use that word. Yes. Number 9 is paid or settled rupees 20,000 to the bank loan. Settled or paid rupees 20,000 to the bank loan. Number 10, cash minus 40, creditors minus 40. What is it? What we have done? Settled rupees 40,000 to creditors. See, when you write the answers like this, how you get a failure for the subject. Harida puta? Harida? Right. Here we have the answers for activity number 28. අපි කියන්නේ මේකෙන් අපි ගණන් හදලා තිනවා 29ක්. හරිද? තේරුණාද මම මේ කියන වැඩේ? 29 questions. Right? ඔක්කොම හොඳ ප්‍රශ්න පුතා. So keep, once again, collect the tutorials, complete them. If the parents are listening, I'm asking you to please check whether your child is completing the notes. Then we can help him to obtain a good result. Got it? Let's move to the next question, number 29. In fact, the last question of the lesson. හැබැයි මෙතන පොඩි additional information එකක් තියෙනවා. ඒ තමයි මේ බලන්න. Highlight this additional information. Transaction number 2 and 7 have not affected the profit. මම මෙහෙම කියනවා එහෙනම්. Transaction number 2 and transaction number 7 have not affected the business. මම එක චුට්ටක් මෙහෙම highlight කරලා පෙන්නනවා. Because, do you see, there is a reduction to the capital and there is an increase to the capital. It says this 8,000 should not be an expense because expense affect the profit. Profit equals to income and minus expenses here. So this 8,000 can't be that loss on destroyed inventory. It can't be an expense. And this 50,000 should not be an income. Make income when not there. Okay, this can't be an income. It has to be, right, additional capital. Let me show how to describe transaction number 2 and 7. Right, 29. The rest has to be done as a homework. Homework. Right. Transaction number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. I'm describing only the transaction number 2 and transaction number 7. Balagi. It tells us very clearly that transaction number 2 has no impact on profit. Therefore, it can't be, it can't be a damaged inventory. It can't be damaged inventory. Why? If inventory is damaged, that is a loss. That affects the profit. Okay. Also highlight that additional information given. Because transaction number 2 and 7 should not influence the profit. First term test exams level. So this 8,000 can't be lost on damage inventory. It has to be a drawing. Why? Drawings doesn't affect the profit. Okay, you have to say the owner withdrew goods value rupees 8,000. That's enough. බලන්න පුතා කලින් තිබ්බ ගාන තිබ්බ බලන්න මේ මෙතන මම මොකද්ද කියන්නේ right මේ inventory value 8,000 has damaged. Why? Because that affect, there were no drawings. We were told in the question number 29 that there are no drawings, but 29 tells us that transaction number 2 and 7 has not influenced the profit. Therefore, the reduction in the equity should not be an expense or a loss. That is how I recognized the transaction number 2 is a drawing. Okay. Number 7. What has happened there? Number 7 cash plus 50, capital plus 50. You can give me the description for transaction number 7. Anybody in the class? What is transaction 7? The owner invested rupees 50,000 as additional capital. That is how you describe it. The owner invested rupees 50,000 as additional capital. Ituru transactions utter. You have to do it as a homework. and send it me for corrections. Everyone, those who are watching the recorded session as well. Okay, Pute, now we officially ends, right? We complete competency number 5. Last sessions I think you all have watched the recorded session. My advice is when you get a free time, you can go through any of the recorded sessions during May. On the next week, we are starting the 6th competency, another important one, dual aspect of a transaction. It's a new theory. So children, don't miss out the live class, right? Since we are on holidays in the next week also, we will have class in the morning. So please allocate your times, right? So that we can, right, plan for a very good result. And remember, most of the time in a number of schools, you will have your term tests, right, on June. So please prepare yourselves. June exam එක 30යි කියලා මට හිතෙනවා. Or at the end of July, maybe, right? We don't know. So anyway, let's see, right? Practice all the things with us, study it. And once again, if you have any of your friends who is looking for a class, you can recommend myself. And I have started a physical class in Moratuwa. If you have your friends, you can inform them about the class, right? The normal schedule is Tuesday. I mean the physical class schedule, right? And we have started it from the first competency. Okay, then that's all for today. Thank you very much for participation. Take care. God bless you. Have a good day. Thank you very much.